What's up, you guys? Welcome to the video. My name is Brandon, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about how you can save money on taxes by using your RRSP. If you have no idea what an RRSP is, you come to the right place, stick around. And even if you do know what the RRSP is, it never hurts to reinforce what you know, especially when it comes to taxes and registered investments, because it can be quite confusing. So in this video, we're going to start from the ground up, or we're going to start from the ground and work our way up. We'll talk about what the RRSP is, how it works, and then how you can use it to save money on taxes. So as always, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, guys, subscribe. I post a video every Monday. And if you want to check out our membership group, it's that first link down in the description below. You can take a look at my personal portfolio, see all of my holdings, and you'll get instant email updates when I go out and place trades. But let's start this video off. We'll start here at the basics. What does RRSP stand for? The RRSP stands for the Registered Retirement Savings Plan. I know the name kind of says savings plan. You may be thinking it's like a savings account, maybe like a high interest savings account of some sort, but the RRSP is actually an investment account. So very similar to the TFSA, to a cash account. It's just one of the options that you have. And each of these investment accounts have their own characteristics. They're all unique in their own way, but one of the major benefits to using an RRSP is that it's what we would call a tax sheltered plan, meaning that any income that you earn within the RRSP, you don't have to pay taxes on. And that's why you'll commonly hear people say like it's a tax-free account because it's actually sheltered from tax. And to explain what I mean by this, let's use the example of Coca-Cola, okay? You own one share of Coca-Cola, and the prices are not right for this, but let's just assume here. If you own a share of Coca-Cola and it goes up in value, and let's assume that you've made $100 on that stock, all right? So it's grown by $100. If you go out and sell that stock, you've earned yourself a $100 capital gain. So that's what it's called when the share price increases in value. It's called a capital gain. Now, if this stock was held in a cash account or in a margin account, or what we would call a non-registered account, so like a non-sheltered plan, you have to pay taxes on that. And the way that it works is you would take 50% of that gain, so in this case $50, and that $50 would have to be included, and you'd have to pay tax on that at the end of the year. Now, if you held that exact same share of Coca-Cola in your RRSP, all right, so the same stock, it made the same gain, but instead of holding it in a non-registered plan, or non-registered account, I should say, you held that in your registered account, your RRSP, which is tax sheltered, that entire $100 is gonna stay within the plan and you don't have to pay any taxes on that. And this goes for any income that you earn within this account. Capital gains, dividends from your stocks, interest that you're receiving from bonds, all of that is kind of free from tax. That's what we mean when we say a tax sheltered plan. So you can see already just how valuable that is when you think about all the money that you're gonna be saving in taxes. That just gives you more capital or more money to invest and compound over time. Now, on top of being a tax sheltered plan, which is amazing as is, the RRSP is very unique in that it's a means of deferring tax as well. Meaning we're not gonna pay tax now, but we're gonna defer it, we're gonna push it back and pay those taxes later. And how this is done is that the amount of money that you contribute to your RRSP, that amount can be deducted from your taxable income. I know that probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but we will go over an example in just a second. But before we go into that example, we have to understand how taxes work. So for anybody that works here in Canada, if you have a job and you're making money, well, you have to pay income tax on that, right? The government's gonna get a chunk of what you're earning. Now, what happens is the CRA, so the Canadian Revenue Agency, they're the people in charge of taxes, what they do is they essentially estimate based on, your age, where you live, like what province you live in. Maybe they say Joe, for example, works 40 hours a week, making this much per hour. They estimate how much money you're gonna be owing in taxes throughout the year. Now, rather than taking that money all out at once, just saying at the end of the year, you owe this big chunk of money in taxes, because the reality is, like, most people don't have the discipline to put that money aside. We'd all probably just go out and spend it. What the CRA does is that each paycheck you receive, they withhold a little bit. And you've probably seen it at the bottom of your pay stub. You have the deductions like withholding tax, CPP contributions, EI, and that's why looking at your paycheck, you have your gross income, but after the deductions, after the tax and whatnot, you actually end up netting less. So basically what happens is that throughout the course of the year, each paycheck they're taking a little bit off, and that should add up to the amount that they estimated, the amount that you should be owing in taxes. Now, if they took too much, which happens, they're usually pretty close, but if they took too much, you're gonna get that difference back via your tax refund. On the same token, if they didn't take off enough tax, well, you'd actually be owing. So that's kind of how the tax system works, and that's important to understand when it comes to the RRSP contributions. Now, how does your RRSP come into play here? Well, like I said, contributions to your RRSP can be deducted from your taxable income. So looking at the example here of Joe, let's assume that he's making $40,000 a year, and if he gets taxed at approximately 20%, that means that he owes the government $8,000 in income tax. Now again, each paycheck they'll be taking a little bit, and it should add up to $8,000 through the course of the year. Now, if Joe makes a $5,000 contribution to his RSP, he can deduct that amount from his taxable income. He doesn't need to buy stocks. He doesn't need to make any investments. He can literally just pop the money into that account. It can be sitting there in cash, and that will count as a contribution. So he deducts $5,000 from his taxable income, and his new taxable income in the eyes of the CRA is now $35,000. So when the government wants to come and take their 20%, well, he now only owes $7,000 in taxes. But again, throughout the year, they've been deducting about $8,000. So at the end of the year, he's gonna get this difference back, in this case, $1,000 on his tax refund. So simply by putting money into your RRSP, the government rewards you by saying, hey, you can save some money on taxes. Now, there is a caveat to this. You're not just not paying taxes. Remember, you're deferring these taxes. So when you take money out of your RRSP, you have to include that amount in your taxable income for that year. And the reasoning behind that, the whole idea behind deferring these taxes is that during your high income years, during the years that you're working hard and you're likely gonna be in a higher tax bracket, you can use the RSP, you can save money on taxes, that gives you more money to invest, and then ideally, years down the road, when you're in retirement, which you should be in a much lower tax bracket, that's when you start peeling the money out, and hopefully you're paying a much lower amount in taxes. Now, to finish off this video, there are a few important things that I want to touch on when it comes to using an RRSP. These are going to be in no particular order, but these are things that probably should be covered in this video. The first is that you can take money out of your RRSP whenever you want, okay? You're not locked in, but you have to start taking money out in the year that you turn 71. In that year, your RRSP is going to be converted into what's called a RIF, a registered retirement income fund, and there's going to be a minimum amount that you have to start taking out. So eventually you are going to have to start paying taxes on these. Now, there is another circumstance where you can take money out of your RRSP, and this is through what's called the home buyer's plan. And the home buyer's plan, if you're looking to go out and buy or even build a house, you are eligible to withdraw up to $25,000 from your RRSP, and this withdrawal can be done tax-free. Now, this has to be a qualified house. It has to be located in Canada. I believe it has to be your primary residence. I will include this link down in the description below if you do want to take a look over it. But basically, by taking that money out, you have up to 15 years to repay that amount. So you're essentially taking a loan out from yourself, from your RRSP account, assuming that you're willing to pay it back. Another thing is that RRSPs do have contribution limits, okay? You can't just put as much money and just pile as much money as you want into these accounts. Otherwise, people would. And the limit is set at 18% of the previous year's income. So if in 2018, for example, you made $100,000, well, in 2019, the amount of space that you'd have available would be $18,000. Now, if you don't use up the full space, that's completely fine. It's cumulative. So each year, the space that you don't use is just gonna accrue and you're just gonna be building up more and more space. And if you are curious to check out what your personal limit is or what how much contribution space you have available, you can check that on the bottom of your notice of assessment. There should be a line that says RSP contribution limit or available contribution space, something along the lines of that. Or you can log on to CRA's website. It's called CRA My Account. And technically, just a fun little fact here, you can actually over contribute to your RRSP by $2,000 without paying a penalty. So if you had, let's say, $18,000 worth of room, technically you could put up to $20,000 without getting in trouble there. But if you were $1 over, which you don't want to find yourself in that situation, you are going to pay a penalty of 1% per month until you get that fixed. So that does give you a little bit of wiggle room. It's just something to keep in mind as you make your contributions, but you definitely don't want to be pushing it because you don't want to find yourself in that situation of over contributing. And also, I forgot to mention, there is a maximum amount that you can contribute if you're making a high income. If you're making a few $100,000, the maximum that you can put in 2019 is somewhere along the lines of $26,500. Now, there's two more things that I want to talk about here to finish off this video. I don't mean to like overcrowd you guys with information, but it is important stuff to know. If you contribute to a pension plan, to a registered pension plan, like through work, that does actually cut into your RRSP contribution space. They don't want you double dipping. They don't want you putting 18% in your RRSP, but as well have money accruing in your registered pension plan. It's gonna be capped out at 18% as a combination of both. So that is something that you want to double check if you find yourself in this situation. You definitely don't wanna be over contributing because you have a pension plan running through work. Lastly, last but not least, this is an important one. When you take money out of your RRSP, you don't get that contribution space back. So that's kind of like unlike the TFSA. With the TFSA, if you take money out, the next calendar year, you're able to put that back in. With the RSP, once you take money out, that's gone. You could kiss that space goodbye. So again, just something to keep in mind. Oh yeah, and one more thing. This was a question that I got a lot on the previous video, so I'll just clarify it now. Your contribution space is based on your deposits. If you have $10,000 worth of room and you deposit $5,000, if those investments grow to 10,000, if they grow to 100,000, it doesn't matter. You're still gonna have, in this case, $5,000 worth of space left. It's not about the growth or the size of your portfolio. Your contribution space is determined by the amount of deposits that you make. So guys, that's my video here on RRSPs. In summary, the RRSP is a really great account. It's an awesome account to take advantage of. It was put in place by the Canadian government to promote and encourage people to go out and invest for their retirements. It's especially useful for somebody that finds themselves in a higher tax bracket. If you're in the bulk of your working years, you can really benefit from saving taxes while you're paying them at a higher rate. I personally have both an RRSP and a TFSA. It really just comes down to your personal circumstances, what you decide to go with. If you guys do want me to do a video similar to this, but on the TFSA, which is another great option here for Canadians, leave a comment down below because I can very easily do that. But as always, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I do the best that I can to answer all the questions here. Like I said, if you're not already subscribed, guys, subscribe to the channel. I post a video every Monday. Gung hei fa choi to all of my Chinese viewers out there. It's the year of the pig this year, which is actually, I think, the year I was born. But if you want to join our membership group, it's our first link down in the description below. We look at all sorts of stocks in there. It's a great group if you're interested in getting more into individual stocks. But as always, I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.